Hello, everybody. Welcome to Broadway.com's Live at 5. It is Wednesday. Feels like Thursday.
It feels like
But it's
Thursday.
Wednesday, July 31st. I'm Beth Stevens.
And I am Ryan Lee Gilbert.
And we are here in the studio with Ms. Caitlin Moynihan.
Hello, everybody.
Look at that look.
Props.
Yeah, props. Because, guys, July 31st is a very big day in the Harry Potter universe.
That's right. And we will get to that when we talk to our guest, James Snyder.
Yes.
Of Harry Potter. I'll say it correctly. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. But first, our top 5.
So we have some sad news to talk about first thing today.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have to kick off this Live at 5 by mentioning that Harold Prince passed away today. He was in Reykjavik, Iceland. He passed away at the age of 91. And what can we tell you about
Giant of Broadway,
Hal Prince?
titan of the theater.
Absolutely. Anything
Most
and everything
Tony
you
Awards
appreciate.
of anyone ever.
Absolutely.
Producer, director, friend to everyone.
Just anything, any show that's influenced you at all, Harold Prince had something to do with it. Of course, Sweeney Todd, West Side Story, Cabaret, Fiddler on the Roof, and Phantom of the Opera just begin to scratch the surface of what this man brought to this industry we all love so much. Winner of 21 Tony Awards, he was also honored with special Tony Awards for his achievements with Fiddler on the Roof and Candide in 1972 and 1974. And he was also presented with the Tony Award for Lifetime Achievement, of course.
It could have been like 10 Lifetime
I was going to say,
Awards.
he could have a shelf of just those. But he received that in 2006. Prince of Broadway, which arrived here in 2017, recreated musical numbers from so many of his famous and beloved musicals. The Broadway League will dim all theater house lights tonight.
I think all the lights in New York City and around the world should be
Absolutely.
Just for a little
while. That will be happening tonight at 7:45 p.m. Also on our site, you can see an incredible illustration that our house illustrator Ryan Casey made of Harold Prince with titles of all of his shows that he was involved in. Very, very devastating. But the tributes that have been poured out to him on social media and around our office, his legacy will, of course, live on and influence all of us.
Very true. And we found out who's going to be taking the Tony-winning Jitney across the country.
Okay, we're going to lighten this up because Jitney, August Wilson's first, chronologically, of the not of the one that he wrote, not chronologically, of the Century Cycle. I'm making a lot of sense today. But the Tony-winning production of Jitney is going on tour. Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing. No,
all right,
it
was a 2017 Tony-winning revival, and it will arrive at Washington D.C.'s Arena Stage beginning September 13th through October 20th, followed by stops in Detroit, Los Angeles, San Diego, and Seattle. But let's get to the cast.
Yes.
They're reprising their Broadway turns will be Keith Randolph-Smith, Harvey Blanks, Ray Anthony Thomas, and most importantly to me, Anthony Chisholm, who's a longtime friend of August Wilson and a Tony nominee. This production is directed by Tony winner Ruben Santiago Hudson.
Fantastic.
It is not to be missed.
are in for a big treat across the country with
absolutely.
this.
And even more people have joined the cast of The Prince of Egypt that's happening across the pond.
Yes, the UK premiere of The Prince of Egypt is happening, of course, in London next year on the West End. And we already knew a few of the people joining the show. We already knew Luke Brady, Liam Tamney, Christina Lotto, and Alexia Kadim were a part of the production. And joining them will be Gary Wilmot, Tanisha Spring, Silas Wyatt Bark, Joe Dixon, Debbie Kurup, and Adam Pierce are joining that production. It is, of course, directed by Scott Schwartz and featuring 10 new songs by the film's composer, Stephen Schwartz. And it features a book by Philip Lezebnik. I apologize. It will play the Dominion Theater beginning on February 5th,
a big one.
2020. It's a big one. And it will open officially on February 25th. Very excited to hear much more about The Prince of Egypt. I love The Prince of Egypt.
Yay.
And, be great.
And this Billy Porter directed play has found its cast. A lot of casting news today.
Billy Porter.
Who? Who's this?
He's not just a talented Tony winner, Emmy nominee, and fashion icon.
Yes.
He's a director.
Yes.
And he is directing this world premiere play by Dan McCabe. It's called The Purists, and the cast will include J. Bernard Calloway, who's Fabulous.
Yeah.
Morocco Amari, John Skirty, Izzy Steele, and Annalisa Velez. Imagine auditioning for Billy Porter.
I
Just
cannot.
putting it out there. The Purist follows a former rapper, a DJ, and a show tune loving telesales director who have become an unlikely group hanging out and sparring over music on the stoop in Queens. I mean, are you there?
love
I'm
it.
so
I'm
there.
so- exactly.
When an
I love
impromptu
it.
rap battle erupts between two younger female MCs, everything gets
Bye.
questioned. I love a question. Okay, so previews begin August 30th, and opening night is September 11th at the Huntington.
And this stage and screen star has signed up for his next project.
Jeff Daniels, who is currently on Broadway, of course, as Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird, has his next gig lined up. So he will play his last performance in To Kill a Mockingbird on November 3rd, in which Ed Harris will take over on November 5th. But Jeff Daniels will be busy as the star and executive producer of a new series called Rust, which will be on Showtime, and it is based on Philip Meyer's novel American Rust. Here is how it is described: as a family drama that will explore the tattered American dream through the eyes of a complicated and compromised chief of police, Del Harris, played by Daniels, in a Rust Belt town in southwest Pennsylvania. When the woman he truly loves sees her son accused of murder, Harris is forced to decide what he's willing to do for her to protect him. Very fascinating.
complicated.
Yes,
I
sounds
love it.
dark. Absolutely. We do not have a start date for the show, but it will debut sometime later this year. Also, Oscar-nominated Broadway alum Dan Futterman will co-executive produce and will write multiple episodes of the series. Further casting, an exact premiere date, and all of that will be announced soon.
Sounds good. We have a few
Absolutely.
more things for you to check out on the site. In addition to that Hal Prince tribute, we have Karen Olivo with Susan Blackwell on Side by Side.
Hilarious.
We have, if you want to learn about the upcoming season, we have
Yes.
spotlights on Betrayal, starring Tom Hiddleston, and we have photos of Bat Out of Hell, which is playing at New York City Center.
Absolutely.
But none of that really matters because it's Harry
Guys.
Potter's birthday.
Yes, it is.
So, Ryan, thank you for your service.
Thank you for it was my pleasure.
Caitlin / whatever you're doing right now.
Harriet.
Please tell us about our guest.
I'm here. We're doing it. Yes, we have James Snyder here with us in the studio today. Because we may have mentioned it. It's Harry Potter's birthday. He plays Harry Potter. It's amazing. So yeah, James Snyder is currently playing Harry Potter and Harry Potter and the Cursed Child on the Broadway. He's currently vlogging for us. Magic to do. Are you caught up? If not, after this, go catch up. He also did Hey Kid, 2-time vlogger. He's great. You may have seen him in his Broadway roles in If Then, in Transit, and Crybaby. He's been seen on screen in She's the Man. Guys, She's the Man. Come on. Come on. What a great movie. He's been in The Good Wife, Rizzoli and Isles. He's been in a whole lot of stuff. Follow him on social media at the James Snyder and leave all of your questions in the comments below. Please welcome James and Beth.
Thank you, Caitlin. Happy birthday, Harry.
Why, thank you very much.
So, before we get started,
Okay.
it's not your birthday.
It's not my birthday.
Your birthday's
no.
in February.
No, although I like to pretend that I have two now. It's great.
I think we should
How
celebrate.
awesome is it that I know my character's birthday, too? I didn't have to
So
make it
how
up.
old is Harry Potter? And we should say Potter. I feel like I'm always saying it wrong.
It's,
So how old is he now?
so he was born in 1980, so he's 39, right? No?
You're right.
Yeah.
No, you're doing it.
Yeah,
You
he's
got
39.
the math. You got
yeah,
it.
it's
You
good.
Got it.
It's good. I'm very, it's,
So
yeah.
he's 39.
Yeah.
When he starts the book, he's 11. Correct?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
11 years old.
We've
show
been
up.
with him for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So what do you want to celebrate? What do you want to tell all the muggles out there on Harry's birthday?
Well, I know for me, it's like, as I bump this, it's just such a special thing. I just read a statistic that 1 in 15 people own a Harry Potter book.
That's, wow.
Yeah, in the world, not in the United States.
That's
So the world over,
amazing.
and there are productions of this show. It's so great to be able to take someone that I love, that's familiar to me, and then familiar to so many people, means so much to so many people.
I'm going to interrupt you because this
yeah.
is fascinating, but
What?
we have
Yes.
to celebrate. We have to celebrate.
What?
Happy birthday. We're not going to sing.
Harry, this is so cute. Can
Show
you
the
guys see
people.
this?
Show the
Can you
people.
see this? This is, oh God, I mean this microphone.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Harry.
birthday, Harry. Did we get it?
Did you get it? You see
It's
how
adorable.
spelled?
And he sat on a Hagrid.
It's an
That's
inside
the one
joke,
that Hagrid
But 1 in 15
did.
people know the joke.
Yeah, yeah,
Make
which
a
is
wish,
awesome.
Make
Harry.
a
Okay.
wish for Harry.
Oh, for Harry, huh?
Or for yourself.
I'm doing it for me.
Yay!
Oh, Oh, we're so glad you're celebrating with us.
Oh, it's so great to be
First
here.
of all, like, Harry Potter's fun, but James Snyder, you guys.
Yes!
Come on.
So tell me what it felt like when you got the gig. When
Okay.
you found out you were going to be Harry
So
Potter.
I went in for Draco Malfoy first. I had like
What?
2 months. Yeah, I had 2 months to prepare for Draco Malfoy. And so I dug in. My friend David Abelis, he was in the other cast, in the original cast. And so I worked with him. I worked with my friend Lisa O'Hare on the accent. All of this stuff came in. Draco Malfoy, Draco Malfoy, Draco Malfoy.
You were
Did the
feeling the
audition.
Slytherin. You were
and
fully Slytherin.
I was in it to win it. And then they were like, yes, they want to see you for Harry Potter. And I had like 3 days to prepare
been
for that.
spending 2 months.
So I'd been just diving in with Draco, and then they're like, "By the way, you're going to come in for Harry." And so it was sort of I disappeared into my basement for a couple days. Just was like, "Honey, I'll see you. I need to focus." What's crazy is there's a movement call for it, which is very Stephen Hoggett sort of brain math movement stuff that is like walk for 7, now for 5 the other direction, then flip around for 3, then 1,
wow.
then 7, then 5, then 1, then
and
7.
you're known
now
for your
on
dance
2,
skills.
raise-
That's what you're all about.
I just well, if you saw Crybaby, I hung
did.
in there. I hung in there.
totally
I did
did.
okay, but
certainly
yeah,
did. That
I would
wasn't yesterday,
I'm
though.
a
Yes.
mover. I'm a mover.
Right.
We'll just say a
Well,
mover.
it's not. Harry Potter is not a musical.
It's not a musical.
but there
no.
is a lot of Capeography.
There is, and yeah, and so I did the movement, I did the direction, and then had the audition of my life. Like I don't know. It was like one of those
Were you
things.
reading sides? What were you doing?
Yeah. So all I did was
Did you have
I
to do
did
any
two-
magic?
No, I did 2 scenes from that, and then I did this trick right here. I don't know if you know
Oh,
this. No,
all
I
right,
didn't.
yep.
They just basically, I did the first scene, I did the second scene, and then John Tiffany, the director, said, "Hey, have you read the books before?" And I was like, "Well, no, I've read most of them, but I haven't."
What were you doing in
And,
the basement if not reading the books?
I was memorizing the lines, the signs.
right,
I wanted
fine.
to go in off book Harry Potter like to the nth degree. And I was researching a lot of stuff. The internet is a great source. Thank you to everyone who's posted anything on the internet about these people because it's helpful.
That's quite a few people.
There's a lot of people.
A lot
That's
of people to
1 in
thank.
15 people. In
We're
the
not gonna name
entire
you all. We're not gonna name you all.
universe. No.
So then, all right. So then you went through this
Yeah.
audition, and then you get the call.
So
you have to
I
keep
had
the
just
secrets,
come.
right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So this was like 3 weeks later. I get a call, and it was all my agents on the phone. And whenever that
All of
happens,
them? Oh, that's
when
good
when
news.
it's everybody, you're always like, "Oh, it's good news. Either I'm getting fired, or it's
Right.
good news." And I had just gotten back. I had just gotten off the train from like a 4-line audition for a TV show that was just like, I just left feeling like, oh, and what am I doing with my life? And then they were like, "So how would you like to be Harry Potter next year?" And I said, "I would love that very much." Hold on, let me get my wife on the phone. So then we called in. Yeah, and that was in September. I wasn't allowed to tell another human being until December.
Whoa.
So I
Did
went
you tell
to
your children because children?
Yes, unfortunately they
No.
overheard.
Oh, no.
No, that the people say children will listen. So yeah, so my kid's kindergarten teacher knew, but luckily we had a parent teacher thing. I was like, you cannot tell
They don't have
anybody.
a big platform though.
No, and
They're
I
not on
could have been
Twitter.
like, yeah, Daddy
Yeah.
dressed as Halloween, as Harry Potter for Halloween. No,
Confuse
so
them.
and I went to a
Gaslight
wedding.
them.
I went to my grandparents' anniversary. So I saw everyone from both sides of my family in this time period and
And
could
you
not
said
tell
nothing.
a soul. And my wife swore me. She was
So
like,
you were just this
"Don't do
unemployed
your
guy.
usual thing." Yeah, I was just like, "Oh, well, I think I got something coming up. It'll be good. It'll be great. I mean, yeah, it's been a while since. No, I'm not thinking about real estate. Like,
Is that the question that
no,
people ask
not
you?
really, no. Everyone, yeah.
So in that period of time, did you go back to the books or the films?
Mhm, yeah, so I dug right back in. Well, I wanted to get the play under my belt a little bit.
Sure.
So I started memorizing and then listened to the audio tape, Stephen Fry's version, because I liked his accent better.
Than
Not
Jim
the Jim
Dale?
Dale's. Jim Dale is
Dare you.
brilliant. That's what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. But
Jim Dale read all of those books.
and he
Amazing.
actually
And Stephen
a
Fry did
Guinness
too, didn't he?
world record for most characters in an audiobook. 190
Really?
characters.
Wow.
Yeah.
You only have to play Harry Potter.
Oh, thank God.
That's it. Just one
Yes.
guy.
Oh, thank Dumbledore for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I often say. So, all right. So you kept the secrets.
Yeah.
For a couple.
Yeah.
And then we all rejoiced. Didn't
Yeah.
We,
We rejoiced.
rejoiced.
Yeah. I had to lie to people. Do you know how many text messages I had to send to Seth Rudetsky or somebody to be like, "I am so sorry, I lied to you about not having anything." I was just had to do a
You
bunch
were
of cleanup.
contractually lying. It was a good
Yeah,
reason.
but yeah. Yeah.
Right. It was a contract.
Everyone understood at the same time. I don't like to.
Now, let me just say, you are an excellent vlogger.
Thank
You're
you
very
very
good
mu-
at
thank you.
you're good at the Harry Potter stuff, but you're really good at the vlogging.
Yeah.
Because you do these little sections. So you've got your mediocre magic.
Yeah, mediocre
You have
moments
your
and
dad,
magic.
mediocre
yeah.
moments. You have your shower thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which your children made an appearance. I was like, who are these children in the shower with James? This is odd. Oh, your children. Okay. They're
Yeah.
dressed. It's
It's
fine.
okay. We're
and
good.
And then
It's
you
fine.
have your dad jokes. You seem to be very proficient at dad jokes. Do you want to talk about that?
I've always had a dad joke sense of humor, and so it's
You're just coming into
ended
your
up. Yeah. What was one? Also one of the hair people, Dana, she likes them too, so I try and share. Someone just said, what do you call a cow with no legs?
Anyone? No?
Ground beef.
Oh.
Dad joke.
Tell it to your dad. See if he laughs. That's how you know. That's
Actually,
how you
a fan from Australia sent me a game that's called Dad Joke Showdown, where you have to tell dad jokes to the other person,
And
and
see
then
who
the
laughs
first person
first?
to laugh. Yeah.
I think
it's
I
that.
think you'd be really good at that.
I don't know.
So is the production celebrating Harry's birthday today?
I think we are. I think there may
It's not
be
just
a
this little
cake when I
cupcake.
get
There might
when
be-
I'm going to go to dinner with a friend of mine, Matt Schaefer, who's teaching at Broadway Dance Center right now, and then I'm going to go. There's a cake waiting for us. I don't know what kind of cake. I don't know. It's like
We don't know what Harry
Cakes
Potter's
are a very
favorite-
big thing with the production.
Oh, yes.
Like I don't know if you saw our huge
Yes.
Hogwarts cake, like our Hogwarts Express cake, and then there was like the one with the owl and the books and
all
yeah,
the stuff.
yeah.
Now, you've been sorted by the Pottermore.
I have. So I was okay.
Okay,
So
I
I'm a
wanna really
Gryffindor.
let's
It's
dig in now.
complicated, and I don't
complicated.
even like to mention this part. But when Pottermore first came out, I was like, I'm on board. Boom, sign me up. Great. I got sorted into Slytherin. I was a little like,
Really?
At the same time, Justin Guarini, who was my roommate on In Transit, Slytherin. Yeah, that's right.
A
So
lot of Slytherin energy from In
and
Transit.
in my mind, I was like, if Justin Guarini, the nicest guy on Broadway,
Yes.
kid, is a Slytherin, then it can't be that bad. That being said,
nothing wrong with
Pottermore
any of the-
then
of the
added
houses.
questions
Ah.
because I think they just wanted to expand the quiz, and I was sorted into Gryffindor. So I
So
and then
you
I
have
asked,
Gryffindor, Slytherin energy.
and I
both.
asked Pottermore, and they said you got to go with the new one. So even if so I am a Gryffindor, but I would say I've got a touch of Slytherin in there too.
You have a Slytherin T-shirt. I saw you in it.
I do, only because John O'Roberts, who plays Draco Malfoy, wore a Gryffindor shirt, but then wrote like Potter sucks and Weasley is our king on it, which I hope you guys get that. And then so I was going to take the Slytherin shirt and do the same thing to him, but then I realized I'm just not that mean. So then I ended up keeping green.
It's a good thing you're playing Harry Potter.
Green
not
is a
now.
soothing color, they
It is,
say.
it is.
So it's a line from the
So
play.
what are the most asked questions that you get? And I know you guys have questions, and we're going to get to that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go out the stage door, and the people want you to sign their things and talk to you,
It's
what
usually
do they
just
ask you?
like what
How did you do that?
How did you? Yeah,
There's so much
yeah.
magic
Well,
in Harry
people
Potter.
ask a lot about the magic. Hashtag keep the secrets.
Right.
Which there are tricks. Like even my wife, I won't tell her stuff. Like sometimes they
There's got to be
people-
some spousal privilege,
people.
but okay.
Yes, and there are, but there's like some people like they ask until they figure it out, but I won't answer, and I'm a terrible liar.
We've
but-
already heard about that, yes.
Yes, yeah. Let's see. Just what is it like to play Harry
so what is
Potter?
it
Like
like
how
to
does
play
it
Harry
feel?
Potter? How does it
It's
feel?
humbling. It's very
Really?
humbling. Well, because everyone has an opinion about what Harry should be like, and so I think I was very clear going into this. My acting mentor / good friend of mine, Raphael Sabarge, who on Once Upon a Time, the TV show,
Yeah.
he played Jiminy Cricket in that. So he was actually like my Jiminy Cricket throughout this whole process.
I feel like we're mixing metaphors here, but let's just go with
It's
it.
okay. Just roll with it. But it was really for me getting out of the way, and really just knowing where Harry was coming from and what he was trying to get done. I feel like the less ego I brought to it.
And this is really a family story in many ways. So
Yeah.
you relate to that, of course,
Yeah,
as a
It's-
father yourself.
Well, the show starts out on platform 9 3/4. The last chapter of the books is
it literally starts where that
19 years
ends.
later. And so, and we start out at platform 9 3/4 with Harry and Hermione and Ron sending their kids off to Hogwarts. And that's where the play picks up. And so it's we're sending Albus Severus Potter, played by Nicholas Padani, off to school, and then we see how different of a kid he is, and what it would be like to have your dad be Harry Potter. I mean, it's like, I mean, I don't know if you can sympathize with having an infamous parent or a famous parent or any kind of parent, the expectations, and Albus, in his effort to define his role or his place in the world, sends us on a massive journey of hijinks and magic, and I would say just it really at the end of the day is about a dad trying to find his way, or parents trying to be better parents, and people trying to be better people and understand each other in a different way. So
That was very good. You really explained that well.
well, I
You're really
appreciate
good at
it.
your job. We're going to answer your questions because I can just feel Caitlin
Give me
scrolling.
the questions.
Scrolling
Yes,
and
and
Yeah.
James is ready.
Thank you.
He's ready. All right. So Jamie wants to know, how long have you been practicing your British accent for?
So, Jamie, I have been in love with things like Monty Python, Faulty Towers, Life of Brian, for a very long time. Really, I started digging in again. I've played British a few times in a few things. I almost booked Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. Not to say that. I mean,
You would
I
have been
don't
very
think it
good
was
in
my job, but and I saw Bryce Bingham. I was like, oh yeah, there you go. But it was brilliant. So
you've dabbled. You've
yeah, and
dabbled.
I'm a musician too, so my ears picked it up. I'm no stranger to
And you
to
had
the
Stephen
British
Fry.
accent. And then luckily we had an amazing coach also, Andrew Wade, who he teaches at Juilliard, and he's brilliant. And so picking apart the accent, and really for me it was trying to find like where I was relaxed and myself, and where I was honoring the accent, and then slowly we've gotten close. And there, I won't say, I wouldn't claim to have
Did
a
you
perfect
see the
accent, but
original players? Did you go
I
and watch
did.
it?
I saw it in October. So right after I booked it, I was like, I'm going to see it as early as
And you
possible.
hadn't seen it before, so that was your
I
first
hadn't.
experience.
No, yeah, and it was brilliant. I mean, they were the original West End company,
Right.
and or well,
At least the principals.
the principals were, and then everyone. I had friends, David Abelis, and some other friends in the show. James Brown III was in it.
Could you enjoy it as an audience member, or were you just thinking about all the stuff you had to do?
No, well, I got so lost in it, and then every once in a while I'd be like, "Holy cow, I can't believe I get to do this." And then my wife. So tickets were so hard to get. We were sitting on opposite sides of the mezzanine from
They
each
couldn't
other.
accommodate
It
you?
was just like,
Okay.
no, they really couldn't. And so, well,
It's a hit.
Yeah, I mean, and look, and that's not to say that like really tickets
you
are
do it all in one day?
available. They just literally just released
That's
a
true.
huge batch. And
But it
and-
is a hit.
Yeah, and if you're in town like a week ahead of time, check with the box office. I mean it. Like
Or Broadway.com.
it's 100% or Broadway.com. No, really, I mean it. Like I have friends that are like, well, I didn't even try. I was like, it's not as hard as you.
It's a
would
big theater.
Think it's a
Also.
big theater.
And every seat is great.
Yeah, there's
so
no
you're
bad
on one
seats.
side and your wife is on the other side.
Yeah.
Are you like looking down the aisle at
Yeah,
each other?
I just kept looking, and
Down
then
the
and then
road?
we met up in the lobby, and she came up and she's like, "Holy cow, I can't believe you get to do this." I was like, "Holy cow, I can't believe I get to do this." She's like, "I just keep thinking that." I was like, "I keep thinking that. It's unbelievable." And then a huge cliffhanger at the end of part one, and then we had to wait. We saw it on the Thursday,
Oh, okay.
so we had to wait the next day to see it.
It wasn't
on
the
a
dinner break
Friday.
crowd. It was
It was
sleep
the
on it
like,
crowd.
all right, well, back to the kids, and so yeah, it just is great to get to see. And we were so lucky in having Des Kennedy, who's the international, like the like #2 director guy, who had set so many of the companies come in and allow us to do what. It was a whole new cast. So really, there were 7 people who stuck around from year one, but all of us Scoobies, like us,
You all had
leads,
to learn it together.
yeah, we learned it together, and we got to make our own choices. And so I'd be in a costume fitting in the theater, listening while the show's going on, being like, I was directed to do something almost the opposite of what Jamie Parker was
Interesting.
doing. Yeah, and so it was really cool. I think they saw what we did well and played to those strengths, and it felt like an entirely new process for us.
Have you had any contact with J.K. Rowling?
I have not. No.
Joe, I know you're watching. It's Harry Potter's birthday.
It's her
Call
birthday.
James.
She has plenty of
She loves when
of
I call her
Harry
Joe.
Potters
We're really
too.
close.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're
I'm
friends.
sure. I'm
my
sure.
mind.
I
In my
mean,
mind.
that's not to say that, it's just There are a lot
You
of
have cakes,
companies
you're
and
fine. You're good.
It is golden. They treat us so well. I have no complaints.
Not
Sonia
problem.
Friedman and Colin Callender are like class
Yeah.
Oh,
to
yeah.
the nth degree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry. I keep on interrupting. We have
Yeah.
more questions for
let's
you.
All right.
we can do
we'll
one more question.
One more.
Okay.
That's it. I'm
One
so
more.
sorry.
And Aaron wants to know, as an actor, what was the most difficult or challenging thing to approach this, knowing you're basically putting on 2 plays? It's 2 completely different
Two
shows.
plays.
2 plays. in
Lots
one.
of lines.
Yeah, 2 plays where I basically don't leave the stage. The realizing and being able to take it moment to moment and not being frustrated in the process of, there were points where we would get through Act 1. By the time we were in Act 2, it would be like, oh, we haven't visited Act 1 in 2 weeks. I haven't done these scenes, so it was being able to maintain that through line of storytelling, of knowing that we have this huge journey. And even now I'm still getting notes. Jimmy Mays, who's sort of our director right now, who's watching it, was like, you can't, there's a moment in part 2, he was like, there's a little too much catharsis there. And you still have, you
More to
can't
go.
let that release in that scene, where I sort of I organically just laughed at something that I had learned there was dramatic irony in it, and I laughed, and he was like, you can't let that go. If we let that go, then the stakes drop. And so it's just being able to track this journey and relationship with every single person and where we're at in every single moment. It's like,
It's a lot.
it's a lot.
It's a lot. Well, happy birthday to Harry
Thank you very
Potter.
much. I appreciate it. I'm going to take a bite of this.
Yeah, I think you should.
No, that was a trick. I got it right up the nose.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that was
Mediocre
not-
moment in magic. In birthday magic.
I'm going to make this disappear.
James, thanks for coming
Thanks, Beth.
in.
It was a
We
pleasure.
love having you as part of the Broadway.com family.
My pleasure.
Guys, I know you want to see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Go to the Lyric Theater and see it already.
And say hi to me afterwards.
And say hi to this guy. Caitlin, will you take us out?
Yes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are live at 5 every single weekday here on Facebook. You can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts by searching for hashtag live at 5 and hitting that subscribe button. Be sure to tune in tomorrow when we talk to Jackie Huffman of All About the Yiddish Fiddler on the Roof.